Ladies and gentlemen.
This is a man. This is a man. This is a man.
Dit is weer een nieuwe aflevering van Di Mango Show. I'm going to be speaking in English because I have two distinguished comedians as guests. One is presidential and the other one is just an amazing comic. I'm talking about President Obonjo.
Thank you.
And Simon Caine. Welcome, President.
Thank
Welcome,
you so much for having us. Thank you. Cheers.
It's very clear.
Which
what
one?
you have just said just now. You introduced me. You didn't even say I was a comedian. You said he's an amazing comic, and we have a president. It's okay. My people will deal with you after the show.
I'm more than happy to switch costumes if you want. That'd be fine.
It will not work.
Okay, fine.
So,
I'll be
but
down
so this is your first time performing in Amsterdam, or have you been here before?
I've been here before, but I've not performed here before.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, just the hookers and the drugs, right?
Well, I mean, maybe in that order. No, I set myself a challenge every year to go to a specific country. And
Alright.
last year was Amsterdam, and I went the last 3 days of the year because I couldn't find any other time to come. So I came out just before New Year's, and I went home on New Year's Day.
Oh, so that means that you haven't experienced Dutch audiences. They can be really different than the Britain.
In what way? Go on.
Well-
What extra panic would you like to add to our day? Let's do this.
The opinions are divided, but I talked to a lot of UK comedians, and they say it's a little bit harder here. Yeah, because if you lose the audience in Britain, it's worse because they can be really lively and be real assholes if you don't like them, if they don't like you on stage. But here they're like, it's like they're overcritical, you know. The
Oh,
audience
great.
will be like, just
But
entertain me.
who would want to criticize a dictator?
That's true. You're going to be fine. I'm fucked.
I don't know.
We're allowed
about
to swear.
that,
We're allowed to swear on the show.
Yeah.
Even if they don't find me funny, they will find me terrifically funny.
Must-
You asked the question about whether I have been to Amsterdam before. I have to say to you, yes, I have been to Amsterdam before, and I have been because I've come to look at the toy shops. You know the toy
shops, yeah.
You know the toy shops where you can
It's not
see,
what I thought he was going to say.
say you can see naked women. And
Yeah, yeah.
I came there. I don't know whether I don't know whether is the red light district still available.
It's still going on,
But-
yeah.
But I understand it's shrunk now.
How
It's
old
not
are
as
you?
big.
That's true because they try to fuck Amsterdam over. They want to make it like a normal city, you know. But they try, but there's still a lot of areas you can get your toys.
Yeah. I am looking for some toys after the gig tonight. You think where would you recommend that I go to?
I would
Can I just quickly check? Are toys code for sex workers?
No, I never said sex workers. Don't let them in.
Is that what? Is that what we're talking about? 'Cause I feel like I'm left out of this conversation.
I just want to grab some toys.
Okay,
Right.
Okay.
And you are actually, you know, because if you buy a Barbie in a box, it has the same, you know. It has like a
Technically, it's a toy,
a clear
yeah.
screen. You see her almost naked.
I
you know.
honestly believe that's what we need in England. There would have been no Brexit. More sex.
You think that was the problem for
Yes.
Brexit? It's not the lies.
No.
The lack of sex for a lot of Middle England.
sex,
Yeah.
well.
Wow. Okay.
You
Well-
mentioned audiences.
So you have to force women to go to be sex workers then.
Well, you don't have to force them. You just need to be in their house, not in cabinet.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So do you feel like Brexit has any influence on stand-up comedy? actually?
Oh.
Because I bet it's hacky now to do it on stage, right?
No,
or
it's
no?
not hacky.
It depends on how you do it.
It depends on how you do it. So really,
It can be hacky.
Yes, it can be hacky. I went to a place. What's really interesting is when I go to places where they voted out, I start by telling them that it is obvious that you guys are not going to find me funny, not because I'm not funny, but because I am a foreigner and you don't need me here. So I don't think it's made any difference. I think there are people who are very fed up of you talking about Brexit and making jokes about Brexit. But if you're clever about it,
This guy.
if you're clever about it, you can still make some.
Yeah, right.
Some really, it's not hacky. It's a live debate.
Right. Yeah. Right. It is actual.
Interestingly enough, I met a Dutch. You went around. I met a Dutch couple on the train.
Right.
We were just talking about Brexit, and I can sense, even though I'm not English, and I told him I was from England, he got really, really angry. I don't know. It's like foreigner. It looks like people who are from Holland don't like the fact that Britain is leaving the euro. It's like
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was this
Nah.
honestly, there was this tension. It had nothing to do with the fact that I was black. It's just there was this tension. I just noticed the tension. He wasn't happy. I'm not surprised
Because he was black.
Yeah. is this the way you cope with racism?
Oh, man.
La la la, dit is de Di Mango Show.
You know you have white privilege.
I do.
Yeah. I have I have military privilege. I get away with it. It's like, dude, you have white
You
privilege.
definitely. No, what? You know, I love doing is whenever anyone mentions that, I just pretend like I don't know what it is. I just go, what privileges?
I have a hard life.
But I have to say,
Oh,
talking
you should have
about
seen the avocado I bought the other day. It was awful.
Yeah, right.
yeah, we don't
No,
have avocados.
yeah, that's why. That's why you have a privileged life. You don't know the problems. No, yeah, we've got. But I mean, having said that, Mr. Obonjo here. Sorry, President Obonjo. I got that wrong. Sorry. President Obonjo and I were walking through the airport, and because he's the president, we completely skipped the line.
Oh, really? They did?
First time I've ever walked through an airport with a black man, and it's been beneficial.
Yeah.
Every other time they've just stopped them and made me wait for them, and it's amazing.
You know what's gonna happen now? All those Saudi Arabic people are all gonna start wearing these kind of clothes. You know?
No, you know what?
Where'd you buy the costume?
You know what? Let me tell you. The reason why I got special treatment is because they thought I was the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, right. I see the resemblance.
It's not even a joke. We were walking out of the venue. We were walking out of the airport, and I overheard a woman just go, "It's the African president."
Yeah, President of
I was
Africa.
like, I'm just going to leave it with that.
Yeah.
She can enjoy the moment of that.
And what makes that you then?
Well,
He was like my butler.
I'm the plain clothes bodyguard.
He was carrying my bag. At one point, he said, "No, I shouldn't carry my bag."
You look too Jewish to be a bodyguard.
I'm bloody dealing with your bags.
Well, you have a wonderful country. And one of the things I have noticed as well, because I love my women,
Right.
I've seen several black women, and they look extremely beautiful. In it.
Yeah.
The woman who interviewed me, she's black, the tram woman.
You got interviewed by a tram woman?
No, not by.
He asked her a lot of questions.
She's a beautiful woman.
Well, you know, women like stature. You know, if they see you in your
So
outfit,
they don't like a man with ponytail.
no,
You don't like me
this.
either. So.
No, you have hairy chest. I've been looking at it.
Yeah, but that doesn't automatically
Not in
mean
not in a sexual way, but I just thought you have a lot of.
I wouldn't
hairy
mind if
chest.
you had looked at it in a sexual way.
No,
But do you have women? Do you have women in London? I mean,
Purely male democracy,
it's male.
which is why
That's why it's so sexed up.
Di Mango Show.
how long have you been performing comedy, you guys?
10 years each.
Yeah, we
10 years each?
We started about the same time.
Oh, really? And you knew each other from the open mic scene?
We hate each other.
We're rivals. We're rival dictators. I'm a lot more casual than him.
No, I've known
He
Simon.
looks like the president of Hawaii.
Yeah, of Hawaii, of hairy chest.
Of hairy chest Hawaii.
Hairy chest Hawaii. Yeah, we met. It was 10 years ago. We did the open mic gig.
Yeah, we were
Just
doing some open
actually,
mics.
We need to give ourselves a lot of praise because 10 years is a long time to be performing comedy and,
Yeah,
not,
man.
and not get anywhere.
Yeah, well.
You know, because I thought by now.
He's speaking for himself.
You know, by now I thought I would be at life at the Apollo. I thought I would be at life at the Apollo. Look at where I am. With the mangoes.
I know, it's not the best.
Do you have live at the Apollo here or anything like
What?
that? Do you know live at the Apollo?
Live at the Apollo, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, because like I feel like at this point I should. So I almost certainly won't get on live at the Apollo, based on the way that they're booking it now.
No,
But I think you will almost certainly, if you stop annoying the BBC, if you get on.
I never annoyed
I think that's the reason why.
You haven't heard my story. My story is this. On the 18th of July, 2019, BBC Studios and
I know
TV4
that, yeah.
they attempted a coup. They tried to get rid of me and wanted to replace me with another dictator called Colonel Banjoko.
Yeah,
that
man.
is racism. You know, when that happened, people actually thought I was the one who had people were congratulating me. While these white privileged people were congratulating me.
But
They say,
that's absolutely madness because we all experience joke theft and we know who steals a joke here and there. But to actually steal a fucking character that you created, that's
they took everything, including my middle name. They took everything. Everything.
But
we've been fighting back.
But how do you? Because when you somebody pointed at told you that they were doing that, right?
Yeah.
Did you find out who was the key player who did this? Because somebody there must be.
Look. I was saying this to my good friend, my butler, Simon.
I was going to say, we're not friends. I'm his butler.
I understand now.
I'm here to pour the wine.
I have conducted my own personal investigation, and let me
Right.
tell you, I can't reveal everything, but it's a web.
All right.
Yeah,
It's no Chilcot report, I tell you that.
Yeah, it's connected. When I am ready, I will produce my report. I'm actually going to talk about it at the United Nations next week about character theft. Yes, I am going to put that. But to answer your question, it's all connected. The best way I can describe this, and I'm not being very funny, you know, during the time when AIDS was being spread from one person to another, HIV, that is how connected this whole thing is.
Oh, it's the government.
Yeah, it's connected.
I don't want to be in this conversation.
All
It's the
right.
government
So
of
far
HIV.
we've had women and we've compared a coup to AIDS. I don't want to be...
So it
Yeah,
all
yeah, I
started
know.
with the AIDS epidemic.
So I started 10 years ago and I'm doing very well.
yeah, you can speak for yourself. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
I am doing well now. It's taking me 10 years.
But
But you see, you asking me how long I've been doing comedy. Every comic, all they need right now, if
Yeah.
they're not doing well, is get BBC Studios and E-Force to steal your act, and you will
It's
see,
ridiculous,
you
yeah.
see how it raised your profile.
But you know what? It is a little bit of this time, you know, because we tolerate a joke theft daily because you have like the fat Jewish.
Yeah.
That's some.
Oh, the Facebook page.
yeah, Facebook page.
So I
and
thought you were
on
having a go
Twitter,
at somebody
yeah.
just getting the fat Jew. Well, I was like, Jesus, that is a
No,
motif.
you have
that was
Rumach, you know, your Rumach there, and you have like
there's a few
a
of them,
lot of
there's a few of them.
pages
Yeah.
that openly steal from
Yeah.
comedians and just and then don't you know pride.
And I
Yeah.
think for me, honestly, my good friend, this is my view, and, you know, and I don't care
You've moved up.
whoever hears this. Comics are too vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah, we are too vulnerable in terms of how we're treated by
Right.
lots of people. You have to have resilience, you know. And one of the things that people have been praising me for is the fact that I was resilient. I didn't let this go because I know some people who were saying to me, "Oh, this is the end of your career. You're finished."
Really.
Yeah, exactly. This is the end. But it's really important. My view is that if you want to do comedy, you have to be resilient.
Right.
You have to be tough. It's a tough game. It's not for for
yeah,
weaklings.
No, I know.
You'll be eaten alive.
The Mango Show.
But do you experience that like the comedy scene in Britain and in UK in London mainly is it really like is it like comedians sticking together or is it really like fragmented?
I mean, it depends on who you hang out with. I mean, personally, I'm finding people are sticking together more. When I was in Edinburgh at the festival,
Right.
it was the least pressured one I've ever been to, and it was the one that felt most like we were all, I mean, not everyone, but like we were all kind of working together as a community. However, you know, I've done those before where you felt a bit like, you know, everyone's just out for themselves or whatever. So I think it's definitely showing the best in the best of us and the worst in the worst of us.
Right. Yeah.
Certainly for me, what was really interesting is the response I got from the UK comedy community. It was just unbelievable. You know, the hashtag was created, Justice for Obonjo. You know, they supported me in every shape or form. And what was really interesting is this, because I am a character comedian, and let's not kid ourselves.
What? Sorry.
yeah.
Exclusive. This is not for president.
And what's really interesting?
I've been
is this-
carrying your back.
Yeah.
Fucking
let
halfway over
me
the
finish my
world.
point. Character comedians are like musical comedians.
Right.
Yeah, so I know when I first started in the game, people saw me as someone who was hiding behind the uniform.
Right.
Don't have any
Like a
jokes.
prop.
Yeah, like a prop. Yeah, like a prop. Yeah. And what was really interesting, what came out from this, there are two sides to it in terms of the support from the community. There are people who genuinely, and I know in short, majority were genuinely concerned that this could happen to anybody. But what was also being revealed, I remember someone saying he did a podcast and said, "Oh, when I first met President Obonjo, I didn't really take him seriously. He was like just a joke act. And, you know, he's developed his character over the last couple of years and he's got better and so on and so forth."
Right.
So I could I genuinely, before this thing happened, I genuinely did not believe that I had the support of the comedy community. I just
right.
felt like I was alone because I was not a straight stand-up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this has really made me feel part of the comedy community.
Did it make you resentful that you didn't feel like you were part of the community?
Oh, look, this is what I am saying about resilience. I actually saw it as an opportunity that I was creating something that was unique and different.
Right.
The key thing for me was I building audiences? Were my audiences, did they love what I did?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I said this to Simon when we were at the airport. My concern is I said, the day my audiences stop finding me funny, then I will resign as a comedian.
But that's it. Equality triumphs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
true because even because comedians, they look down on like musical comedy.
Yeah.
But you have like a great Dutch comedian who always plays his guitar and songs, and he's revered. You know,
you know what's
he's
really
revered.
interesting?
But if I know if you're a hack and you pick up your guitar, then you gotta be
and I can
puked out.
understand.
But so quality will determine if they accept you or not.
Yeah. But I think the key thing for me is the fact that yes, there are, if it's musical comedy or character comedy, you have to do it very, very well.
Right.
And I'll be the first to say that at the very beginning, when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. I had to develop. It evolved.
The Mango Show.
Okay, so you had the first 3 years of your comedy career. You were bombing.
No, I wouldn't say I was bombing, but I was learning and developing. No, I didn't bomb. No, I wasn't bombing. I was killing gigs, but I wasn't progressing because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It evolves.
I bombed.
No, but I didn't bomb. I'm not saying I'm bombing.
You
I'm saying
never bombed?
No, I bombed.
You
several
bombed
times.
countries, right?
Yeah, I bombed countries. Yeah, I bombed countries. I am the only comedian to bomb, not on stage.
All right. Did you bomb?
Yeah. I'm
right?
fine admitting that. No, I mean, it's one of the few jobs that if you're not bombing, you're not getting better.
Right.
If you're a musician or even a musical comedian, in many ways, you can practice in your room and get better, and just sort of rehearse what you're going to do. If you're a sketch group, you can practice on your own and get not as good as stage time if you're doing it on your own, but you get some time to go over it. Whereas if you're just a solo performer, you have to. I mean, not on a regular basis, but you have to die to get better.
But the
I think
crazy
that's a
thing
good
is
thing.
because you've been doing comedy for 10 years, but even now still, because I rarely bomb, but it still can happen, and that's
but
that's
sometimes
really the strange
I
thing
engineer
about
it. Sometimes I think was it you I was talking to about. Sometimes I engineer it. Sometimes you sort of make yourself like lose the audience so you can gain them back. And I think it wasn't you. It's another. It was my friend Phil Simon. He was saying he's been doing these gigs for a promoter in England, and the promoter said, "I'd really love to see you not do well." Like not in a nasty way, but like in a, I've only ever seen you do, mediocre to really well.
He made
I'd
you
love
do
to see
new
how
material.
you deal with, not just that, but I'd love to see how you deal with not having an audience like what you're doing.
Right,
because he's been doing the same set for ages,
Right.
and so he kind of knows how to play it, and also it always gets like a middling response or higher. So it means that, you're never going to see him flounder.
Right.
And I was like, I get what he's saying about that. He's not being a horrible person. He's saying it would be nice to see you not do well, because I think the real mark of a comedian is being able to be in the moment and acknowledge that you're not doing what you were going to do on stage. You're having to plan something else in the moment.
Yeah, right. There are a lot of comedians who have like a stuck set, and they do it for years. I think that's really ridiculous. Because
it makes money. It makes money. They do it because it makes money. That's it.
And it also depends on what the comedy promoter wants. There's some comedy promoters who want you to stick to what they've seen.
Yeah.
But this bit about bombing, my view is that if you're smashing gigs regularly and you're smashing it, then as far as I'm concerned, unless you're changing your material, then you're not developing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You need to be able to develop. You develop your material. If you're smashing it again, then yes. But it is good to bomb.
Right.
It is good because I remember bombing a couple of years ago. Jeez, it was painful.
No.
It was really, really painful. I mean, we lost all the audience. They died. No, but on a serious note, it was such a bad, because what happened was
I love a bomb story.
I love a bomb story. I just approached them in such a way where I was very, very aggressive, and they were fighting. They just, what the hell?
Really?
And then it was the first time in many years where I just bombed. I just died. I just literally died.
The problem you've got, or the thing is that the definition of bombing can change from gig to gig.
Right.
So like I did a gig in Edinburgh where the audience were they were just so quiet for the whole gig, and I went on and they were still quiet for me. They were smiley, lovely, or whatever, but they were completely quiet. And then afterwards, I was hiding because I was like, I don't want to see anyone. But like, you couldn't really, Edinburgh's like all the rooms are really hard to hide from. So you come out and you go left to leave, and then all the performers are hiding behind there. And I was sort of just standing there because the promoter was putting stuff away. About 10 people out of the 15, 20 people came up to me and were like, "Oh, we loved it. Could let me take a flight. We'd love to do it." So although in my mind I was like, "I've done shit. I don't want to talk to anyone."
Exactly.
It's in their mind. They were like, "Well, you know what? Maybe they've seen 10 shows that day because it's at a festival. So they're tired. But you don't know that you've not bombed until they've told you you haven't."
Di Mango Show.
Can I ask you guys about PC culture? Do you feel that that is changing the game a little bit, even in the UK?
Well, it's definitely it's quite, for me, it is quite interesting what's actually going on, because I can see that there are comics who are tagging themselves as either right wing, left wing, or freedom of speech. Comedians are not freedom
Sells
of speech,
tickets.
but yeah, just because
If you say you're a left-wing comedian, more like the left will buy a ticket.
Yeah.
So you tend to the audiences. So you adjust your comedy set to have a bigger audience.
No, you just
It's just the infant.
it's a bit, and I don't know if you've ever actually done this, but like, say for example, if President Obonjo were to advertise this gig as an African act, for example, you'd get some of the African people going, "Oh, we'll go check out one of our own."
Yeah.
So if you say you're a left-wing comedian or a right-wing comedian, you get some of that group of people that come out because they're after a comedy night. Why would you support in a nice way possible? Because that's the kind of
we get the whites.
Oh, well, yeah. because we he's no, but you know what I'm saying, like it's very the culture at the moment is very personality driven and also very I can't remember the name of what it's called, but it's where you identity politics.
Right.
So if you identify as left wing, if you've got 20 quid to spend on a comedy show, you're more likely to go and see the left-wing comedian than the right-wing one, even though realistically you should be going to see the right-wing.
But I think it's like these identity and these views about PC and tagging people into little boxes, I think it's destroying comedy. I genuinely, that is my approach. I don't. It's people who call me an African dictator. It's people who say I'm an African comic. I just I genuinely,
you're ruining comedy.
I genuinely see myself as a comedian.
Right.
That covers all. I don't. It's difficult for you to say that a dictator is left wing or right wing. Anyway, maybe
very heavily
right. However,
third right.
But I don't put myself into that box. So, for example, when people, I just feel that you can go on. This is my view. I believe you can go on stage and you can say whatever you say. Why it is funny.
Right.
But no, but you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't. This is what's annoying me about PC culture. People keep saying that where they go, "Oh, you can say whatever you want as long as it's funny." Well, who judges? Maybe I found it funny and they didn't. Maybe they're not the right audience for that thing. Eventually, that breaks down the entire system of it, because you can't say as long as it's funny you can say whatever, because eventually you'll find an audience that finds that funny for the wrong reason.
No, but the point I'm trying to make.
Do you know what I mean? Like, no, seriously. If I wanted to go on stage and say I hate, I don't want to say anything because you might edit it. So, but if I say I hate a group of people, and you say to me, well, you're allowed to say no. But I'm saying I could write a joke. I could probably write a joke that's racist. I could probably do that. And if I did that, you would your own defense there would be you could say anything as long as it's funny. And eventually I would find an audience.
Can I just quantify that?
Yeah.
All this is what irritates me about the current approach that we're taking.
Right.
Allowed. You don't need to be allowed to say whatever you want to say on stage. That is the
You
point.
are.
Yeah.
You should be allowed.
You should say whatever you want to say. The whole idea is funny is funny.
Right. I
You're
agree.
there to make people laugh. All this talk about, it has to be based on the content and the quality. Hello? Not everybody is where they want to be in terms of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to be a Dave Chappelle, or he's going to be a Louis C.K., or he's going to be a Malcolm McIntyre, or you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just disagreeing.
Yeah. But you can't disagree with me for too long.
Di Mango Show.
Do you use like a foul language? Is it racy?
Yeah.
Is it
No, okay.
Do you walk the line with your comedy?
I swear. I'm not
But
trying.
if you think you go over the line, you're doing it. I don't know. I don't think I do it on. I think if you're a reasonably minded person, you don't do it on purpose because you don't think there's the line I'm going to run across it.
Right.
But then when I'm writing a joke, generally I'll come up with the idea and then I'll write it on stage. So if I'm writing a joke on stage, we all know that in that moment you might say something that you won't ever say again, or that you wouldn't have said if you'd written it down because you'd be overthinking it. Which is another reason why I have to do it on stage because I overthink. So
You said it so proudly.
I know. I'm owning it now. I never used to own it, and now I'm owning it the last couple of years. So
I'm just wondering whether there's some women.
Statistically, there's going to be a woman watching it.
Yeah.
That's right. But no, I've almost certainly said things on stage that I wouldn't have said if I'd written it down first.
Right.
And I think that's the case for most people. You know, maybe you got heckled and you went off thing and you had a go at someone and you would never have normally called them a twat or any of sort of thing.
Anything.
So I don't go over the line. What I try and do is find a way of looking. Well, me personally, I can't speak for anyone else. I try and find a way of looking at an idea that I've not heard yet.
Right.
And that might be over someone else's line.
But you do see like because you're a skilled comedian, you have been doing it for you do for 10 years.
Thank you.
You know the craft.
Thank you for including me.
But but you know the craft because if you see a lot of open micers and they just go with 2 feet forward, you know. And
I love that. I love watching someone go on stage and think they're Anthony Jeselnik or someone like I love watching someone who clearly has watched too much of, let's say, what's his name? Who's the one-liner? The Scottish guy. I forgot his name.
Do I look Scottish to you?
No, but you've been to Scotland.
Last King of Scotland.
What's his name? Frankie Boyle. You know, they've watched too many Frankie Boyle things and they think, oh, it's easy. I can go up there and say horrific things about dead babies. And they'll go up on stage and they'll say horrific things about dead babies. And I'll be at the back of the room laughing for the reason they don't want me laughing. And that'll heckle them. That'll heckle them in the most passive-aggressive way because they'll think, someone found it funny. I'll do it more. And I'll watch them continue doing it and I'll keep laughing because I'll be like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing it because you think this is worth it. You owe these people time. You owe every person in this room back like a minute and a half or whatever it is that you've just been doing that for because it's fucking awful.
You are evil because he thinks he's doing it for
but
you.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing on purpose. I'm laughing because I genuinely find it so funny that someone would do. And also, like,
you're destroying a person.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
If you want to promote something you're gonna do in a couple of weeks, then be my guest, man.
I've got a Twitter. If you follow that, you'll find me on there, and I'm gigging all the time. So this made me cool is my Twitter, and doing all right. It's getting into some lists, like it's top 10 lists of jokes and things. So it does that.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So you sound like my mum. Like, oh, well done, you for writing something funny. I'm predominantly a writer. So I gig, but like you can only gig a certain number of nights a week, regardless of how hard you try. So I generally I write quite a lot, more than I gig.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's my bread and butter. So by this point it should be good, or else I'd be.
So
fucked.
it gets published or something.
Yeah.
You're really.
I've published 2 books. I've written for people and I've written for brands and corporate things and stuff. So yeah. Well, you asked me to plug something. I feel like I'm bragging now, but he asked me to plug something. Yeah. That does sound like my mum now. Well done you with your 2 books. One sold loads of them, one didn't. Well done.
Okay, I love bragging, and I shall not apologize for promoting myself in any shape or form. I want to start by saying to you that I am the only original African dictator, not only in the United Kingdom, around the world. There's so many fakes right now, so don't confuse yourselves with the likes of Donald Trump, Putin, Prime Minister Obonjo, who's stolen my name, Obonjo. You can follow me on Twitter, real Obonjo, because there's some fake Obonjos out there.
You've not mentioned it. You've not mentioned it.
Yeah, so
Definitely
fake,
not
some
mentioned.
fake Obonjos run around.
He's not
in
mentioned any fake
uniforms.
Obonjos yet.
Yeah. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I am looking to invade. There's the comedy revolution that has started right now. I am actually going to the United Nations next week,
Okay.
and I am going to give a speech about how all these countries, existing cultures, have failed their people, and we need to create new nations like Laughter Republic, Zamunda, Wakanda, and that the United Nations need to recognize Laughter Republic and all other countries. I could go on for as long as I want.
We got that.
Because there's always African time.
Oh,
Actually, I am enjoying this so much. This show is no longer called the Dario Di Mango Show. It's now called the Obonjo Show. So I would like to end the show by introducing my guest again. On the left is
Dario Di Mango.
Simon Caine.
All right.
I'm already forgot my name.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I miss you.